everyone, my name is AJ, and I haven't come up with a good intro yet. Today, I'll be redesigning 3 Genshin Impact characters. Quick disclaimer, I am not trying to fix these designs, and I don't think the original designers. This is all just for fun, so there's no need to get angry, okay? Cool, let's get into the video. Genshin Impact is an open-world RPG game with a huge cast of characters and tons of quests. These quests range from daily busywork to linear story stuff. I love this game. It's a great game to play when you just want to turn your brain off and relax. It's not a particularly hard game, but it isn't devoid of challenge either. This sounds like an ad. I wish I was sponsored. That would be awesome. No, I just genuinely like this game. One of the game's greatest draws is its characters. Since the playstyle is basically Breath of the Wild at home, it had to do something in order to set itself apart. You know, other than the drastically different world building and story. So when in doubt, hot anime girls. The first hot anime girl from this game I'll be redesigning is Razor. Razor is not a hot anime girl, but he is very pretty. I like Razor. He's one of my favorite characters to play with. He's also got one of my favorite designs out of the entire cast. That being said, let's be very mean to his design. I wouldn't have a single gripe about Razor's design if he weren't raised by wolves. Literally, that's his backstory, which is a bit of a problem because his outfit looks very man-made, especially the pants. Sure, you could argue that he stole his clothes from humans, but like... okay, that's a pretty good argument, but I don't care! It's redesign time! I want to really make it look like he's been surviving in the woods all alone with wolves for his entire life. I love the triangular shaped shirt thing, so I kept that exactly the same and kept the necklace. That looks like something that he could carve out of wood easily enough. In the area of the game where you can encounter Razor, there are boars everywhere, and they do confirm that Razor does hunt these, so I thought it would be fun to give him a boar skin cloak. That way we can keep the cloak, but make it something he could achieve independently from humans. I kept the boar ears on the cloak because it's cute, and also it makes him look more like a wolf, even though they're not the right type of ears. It's adorable! You don't need a reason to make things adorable. In the game, there are enemies called hilichurls, the fluffy mask thing that's on screen. They're pretty much everywhere, and everyone hates them. I thought it would be cool if Razor stole the majority of his fit from hilichurls that invaded the wolves' territory. So I took that skirt and gave it to my boy. I also took the arm bandages for extra cool points. In combat, Razor is a claymore wielder. All the clubs in the game are listed underneath claymore. This gave me the idea to steal that hilichurl's club while I was at it for that to be like his default weapon. I thought it would make sense for Razor to have a bit more muscle on him since he's been living outdoors his whole life and has to hunt. Genshin Impact has a very limited amount of body types, which is understandable. It's a lot easier to make one base model and then model a whole bunch of different characters over top of it than it is to make a completely unique model every single time. However, I'm not modeling anything, so I can draw it however I want. Since I don't have to animate anything either, I'm gonna make Razor a character that usually goes around on 4 legs. Though humans aren't really meant to move like that, you would be surprised how fast some people can be on all 4s. If I were coding this into the game, I would have it be that Razor does his walking animation on 2 legs, but switches to all 4s when he goes into a full sprint. Just like in the original, I made his hair real long enough to make it almost look like a tail. Is that practical? No, not at all. Do I care? Also no! For colors, I stole them from the boar and the hilichurl, of course. I kept the hair and eye color the same, but darkened the skin. Razor is outside literally all day, every day. He ought to be at least a little bit tan from that. Besides that, I think tan skin with light hair looks so stinking cool. I know it's kind of like a cliche to do at this point, but let me have this. I thought it would be fun to give him some real intense tan lines, so I did. I also gave him more scars and made them much darker than in the original so you can see them better. Don't question where he got his shoes. I have no idea. In the game, every player character that you can get has, like, an elemental magic power, and Razor's is lightning. But I think it would be cool if, like, just a few of the characters that you can play as didn't have elements at all. You have to get these elemental powers from blessings from, like, the gods of this world. And Razor's been, like I said before, Razor's been raised by wolves his whole life. So, like, what if instead of lightning powers, which, although cool, what if instead, like, he just, like, had bigger wolf-like attacks? I don't know, just something to think about. I don't know what I'm talking about. Next up is Noel. Noel is also a character that I absolutely love. She's a knight, but also a maid at the same time, and she's a total sweetheart. She is a mother to all and wants nothing more than to take care of you, and it makes me happy. I absolutely love super strong, but also super feminine characters. It feels like we don't get enough of them these days. Because I love Noel so much, there wasn't very much that I wanted to change about her. The only thing I don't like about her design is that her shirt is super low cut in the front and also it's backless. And since she's wearing armor and is also covered everywhere else, like, it feels a little out of place and it seems like it would be pretty uncomfortable. It always bothers me when a character is completely covered except for a few cutouts that are clearly intended to be sexy. I think it looks tacky and I'm not a fan. I knew that I wanted to change that part of her for certain, but I had no ideas for what to do with the rest of her. So I had an idea to change her body type. Noel is another claymore wielder. I have a preferred weapon, leave me alone. It's very cute to see this small, adorable, thin little girl wielding this absolutely massive weapon that looks like it weighs more than she does, but, like, what if she were built a little thicker? So that's what I did. I just gave her some more density. More weight, but not fat. I don't know how to explain it, just look. I just wanted her to look like she could tank a hit. The rest of the process was struggling to figure out other things to change. It is really hard to make these kinds of videos about character designs that I love. Sometimes it's impossible to make a character design better, sometimes the best you can do is just make it different. I don't think my end design looks any better than the original. When I say better, I mean more suited to my personal tastes, by the way. Don't get it twisted. I'm not a better designer than Genshin Impact. Genshin Impact designs have had so much influence on my taste in how I like to draw fantasy nonsense clothes. I love this game. I decided to remove the braid that goes across her bangs. I don't know why, but its placement just bothers me a little bit, so I decided to just chop it entirely. Means I don't have to draw any braids. I gave her a big metal, almost corset type thing, which I guess that's a choice. Like, I don't know, man. I'm out of things to say. Let's talk colors. The biggest differences I made to Noel came in the form of the color palette. I removed her rose theming not because there's anything wrong with it, I'm just trying to do something different. I wanted to lean more heavily into her elemental power. In the game, there are 7 different elemental powers that can be had. Ice, lightning, earth, fire, water, air, and plant stuff. Noel's element is Geo, or earth. The color of Geomagic is orange, so I gave her a mostly orange color palette with pops of bluish gray. Well, I guess it's more gold than orange, but whatever, you know what I mean. I think this color palette makes her look really soft while still having plenty of contrast. Don't get me wrong, love the red. But red is a very intense color, which doesn't quite fit her personality. I wanted her to look just soft. There's Noel. The last character I'll be doing is Rosaria. Rosaria is supposed to be one of the nuns in the first location you go to, though you don't encounter her until much later. Man, even when I'm not doing has-been hotel-related videos, I just can't seem to escape Jesus. He's everywhere! He's in the walls! Despite Rosaria's status as a nun, she doesn't really read as one at all. Even when compared to the nuns at Mondstadt, she barely looks like a nun at all. The only place it reads as a nun is in the headdress, and only just barely. I'm especially opposed to her fishnet leggings. Just like, come on. Now, I don't come from a sect of Christianity that has nuns, but I do know that nuns are extremely modest and extremely chaste. I'm pretty sure they take lifelong chastity vows. I know that part of Rosaria's character is that she's not a super great nun, but she could at least try and look the part. I started by redesigning the hood. I think her headdress reads more as royalty adjacent than nun, so I wanted to make it undeniably a nun's hood. I didn't want to make her an outfit a one-to-one nun fit, because nun fits are extremely simple, and this is Genshin Impact. Simplicity, they do not know her at all. But I did want there to be some influence. Nuns have big sleeves, and Rosaria has these really cool gloves. If I gave her the sleeves, they would have fully covered the gloves, so I compromised and combined them into one thing. Whatever this is. I kept the skirt thing, whatever you call it, that Rosaria has, and put a full-length dress underneath it. Also means I don't have to draw shoes for this one. Thank goodness, because that perspective is hard. I added a few belt loops too, because her original design has a lot of belts, and especially in places where it doesn't make any sense for them to be. Now, colors. Rosaria is an ice user, so I wanted to put some more blues into her color palette. I still wanted to keep her main color purple though. I'm glad that not every single character is bound to have to use the color of their element as their main color. I wanted the most amount of contrast to be inside the hood. All of the main outfit though is more subdued. This is meant to convey a sense that on the outside she's trying to present as a normal nun, but there's so much going on the inside that isn't as nun-like, if you care to look at all. I added some extra patterning to all of the white parts of her outfit, but left the dark reddish purple as only teeny tiny accents. That way all of the more intense, not quite clashing, but like insane contrast is contained within the inside of the nun hood. And that's everything! Thank you everyone so much for watching, and an extra special thank you to my patron Mercer Scott Holt. You're the greatest. If you would like to support me, I have a Patreon and a Ko-fi where you can donate. I also take commissions, here are my prices, and if you would like one, you can DM me on Instagram, Discord, TikTok, or order them on Ko-fi. I prefer Ko-fi, please. That's all I've got for today. Let me know if there are any other videos you'd like to see from me, and I'll see you all next week in a super cool video about I don't know yet. Bye-bye!